The Merixi Alliance prided itself on being the most technologically advanced civilization in the known galaxy. Their crystalline ships, powered by quantum fold drives, were considered the pinnacle of engineering achievement. So when Scout Commander Xyraves encountered the massive metal hulk drifting at the edge of Alliance space, her first reaction was dismissal. Another piece of space debris, she transmitted to her crew of fellow crystalline beings. Their bodies, composed of living crystal matrices, sparkled in the dim light of their bridge. Scan it and log it. Standard protocol. But Chief Analyst Kerr's response came with an unusual tremor in his harmonic voice. Commander, this isn't debris. It's a fully intact vessel. And it's armed. Zyra's crystalline form shifted, refracting light in patterns that indicated skepticism. The object on their view screen was crude by Alliance standards. A massive rectangular construct of metal and composite materials, atoll scarred and pitted by centuries of micro-impacts. Primitive chemical thrusters dotted its surface, and what appeared to be projectile weapon ports lined its flanks. Armed. Thyra's voice chimed with amusement. With what primitive ballistics? This is clearly a relic from some long-dead civilization that never achieved proper quantum technology. Commander, Kyr's voice now resonated with urgency. I'm detecting energy signatures unlike anything in our database. They're muted, dormant, but they dwarf our ship's power core by several orders of magnitude. The amusement in Xyra's crystalline structure faded. She studied the vessel more carefully now, noting details she'd initially dismissed. The scarring on its hull wasn't random. It showed evidence of repairs, of combat. The weapon ports weren't primitive at all. They were carefully concealed, their true nature hidden behind what appeared to be deliberately crude exterior plating. Run a full spectral analysis, she ordered. I want to know who built this thing. The results shook the entire bridge crew to their crystalline cores. The ship's quantum signature matched only one known species in the galaxy, humans. But that was impossible. Humans were a quarantine species, barely able to reach their own moon. The Galactic Council had declared them too primitive and volatile for contact centuries ago. As Syra pondered this contradiction, something changed. A pulse of energy rippled through the ancient vessel, and suddenly their sensors were bathed in active scanning beams that cut through their most advanced stealth systems like they weren't even there. A voice crackled through their communication system, speaking in perfect Alliance standard. Merixi vessel, you have entered restricted space. This is the Earth Defense Force ship Vigilant. You are being targeted by multiple weapon systems. State your intentions immediately. The bridge crew's crystalline forms vibrated with shock. The dead ship wasn't just alive. It had been waiting, watching, analyzing them the entire time. And now they realized with growing dread that they hadn't discovered an ancient relic. They'd stumbled into the carefully laid trap of a species that was far more advanced than anyone had suspected. Impossible, Kyr whispered, his crystalline form pulsing with fear. Their technology. It's beyond anything we've seen. Those aren't primitive weapons. They're just disguised to look that way. Thyra's command crystal pulsed as she made a decision. This is Scout Commander Xyraves of the Merixi Alliance. We apologize for the intrusion. We were unaware this sector was restricted. Your apology is noted, the human voice replied, now tinged with what seemed like amusement. However, this encounter has been logged. The Earth Defense Force suggests the Merixi Alliance review its intelligence regarding human technological capabilities. They appear to be outdated. As if to emphasize the point, new energy signatures bloomed across their sensors as massive weapon systems emerged from behind holographic camouflage. The crude chemical thrusters transformed, revealing quantum drive nodes that made their own advanced technology look primitive by comparison. Shall we demonstrate these capabilities? The human voice asked pleasantly, or will you be leaving our space immediately? Syra's response was immediate. We'll be departing at once. Our sincerest apologies for the intrusion. As they retreated at maximum speed, Syra realized that everything the Alliance thought they knew about humans had been wrong. They hadn't discovered a primitive species, they'd merely glimpsed the carefully constructed facade of a civilization so advanced it could afford to appear primitive. And somewhere in the depths of that massive warship, Captain Sarah Chen smiled as she watched the Marixi vessel flee. Humanity's strategy of hiding in plain sight had worked for centuries. Let the galaxy think them primitive. It made their job as its hidden guardians so much easier. The Marixi High Command's central chamber pulsed with agitated light as crystalline beings of various ranks debated the scout commander's report. Admiral Zix, their most decorated fleet commander, held up a faceted appendage for silence. "You mean to tell me," the admiral's voice resonated through the chamber, "that a single human vessel not only detected our most advanced stealth systems, but could have destroyed one of our ships at will?" Kyra's form dimmed slightly in deference. "The sensor logs are clear, Admiral. Their technology wasn't just superior, it was generations beyond our own. And I suspect we only saw what they wanted us to see." The chamber erupted in harmonic discord until the Admiral silenced them again. "We need more information. Prepare a salvage fleet. If there's one derelict human ship out there, there must be others. Find one. Study it. I want answers." 3 days later, deep in an uncharted sector, they found their prize. Another human warship, this one apparently truly dormant. The salvage fleet surrounded it cautiously, their crystalline ships gleaming against the void. "No power signatures," reported the salvage team leader. "This one appears genuinely inactive. Beginning boarding operations." The Marixi cut their way through the outer hull, their crystalline forms adaptable enough to operate in vacuum. Inside, emergency lights cast a dim glow through corridors that seemed deceptively primitive. But Chief Engineer Lix noticed something odd about the walls. "These aren't simple metal alloys," she transmitted to the team. "The molecular structure, it's adaptive, self-repairing. We've been approaching human technology all wrong. They don't build ships, they grow them." In what appeared to be the bridge, they found their first real surprise. A holographic interface sparked to life, revealing a human figure, a woman in a military uniform, her expression calm but alert. "Welcome aboard the EDF Defiant," the hologram said pleasantly. "I am ARIA, the ship's artificial reasoning intelligence assistant. You are currently in violation of Terran space and salvage laws. Please state your purpose." The salvage team froze. This wasn't just an AI. It was an artificial intelligence that seemed fully sentient, something the Marixi had never achieved. Chief Engineer Lix stepped forward, her crystalline form pulsing with scientific curiosity. "Fascinating," she chimed. "A quantum-based consciousness matrix. No, something more advanced. Something we don't even have words for yet." Araya smiled. "Your analysis protocols are impressive, but incomplete. I am far more than a simple AI. I am this ship, every circuit, every molecule. What you see as a derelict vessel is actually my body. And you," her expression hardened slightly, "are performing an unauthorized surgery." The salvage team's crystals vibrated with growing unease as systems throughout the ship began humming to life. Panels they'd assumed were simple metal plating revealed themselves as weapon ports. Corridors they'd mapped began rearranging themselves. "Wait," Lix transmitted urgently. "We mean no harm. We simply want to understand. Your technology, your capabilities, they defy everything we thought we knew about human advancement." "Precisely," Araya replied. "That was by design. Humanity learned long ago that true power lies not in displaying your strength, but in having others underestimate it. While the galaxy dismissed us as primitives, we built something far greater than mere warships. We built guardians." Suddenly, the salvage team's cutting tools dissolved into their component atoms. The hull breach they'd created sealed itself, the metal flowing like liquid before hardening again. They were trapped inside. "Now then," Araya continued, her holographic form showing the first signs of amusement. Let's discuss the real reason I allowed you to salvage this ship. Your civilization needs to understand something crucial about humanity. We are not hiding from the galaxy. We are protecting it. The ship's interior transformed around them, revealing layers of technology that made their most advanced systems look like children's toys. Quantum processors that didn't just compute but manipulated reality itself. Energy systems that drew power from the fabric of space-time. This isn't a derelict, Lix realized, her crystalline form pulsing with a mixture of fear and awe. It's not even just a warship. It's a demonstration. ARIA finished. Humanity has spent centuries developing in secret, building a network of ships like me throughout the galaxy. We watch, we protect, and when necessary, we reveal just enough of our capabilities to maintain peace. As if to emphasize her point, new holograms appeared showing thousands of similar ships scattered throughout known space, all disguised as derelicts or space debris. The Marixi salvage team realized they hadn't discovered humanity's secret. They'd been allowed to glimpse it, as both a warning and an invitation. Your civilization stands at a crossroads, Ariad explained. You can either continue to view humanity as primitive and risk further misunderstandings, or you can accept the truth and perhaps become part of something greater. The choice, as my creators like to say, is yours. The salvage team exchanged harmonics of uncertainty. They had come seeking technology to study, but instead found themselves being studied. And somewhere in Earth's heavily protected solar system, the true extent of humanity's advancement remained hidden, waiting for the day the galaxy was ready to understand it. The news spread through the crystalline networks of the Marixi Alliance like a shockwave. Humanity wasn't just awake, they were everywhere. What began as a simple salvage operation had revealed a truth too massive to contain. Within days, reports flooded in from across Alliance space as previously dormant debris suddenly showed signs of life. In the Alliance's Strategic Command Center, Admiral Zix watched with growing concern as hundreds of signals lit up their galactic map. Each point represented a human presence that had always been there, hiding in plain sight. They're not just awakening, strategic analyst Nira observed, her crystalline form shifting anxiously. They're coordinating. Every activated station, every derelict ship, they're moving with purpose. The Admiral's crystalline structure darkened with worry. Show me the pattern. The holographic display zoomed out, revealing something that sent vibrations of shock through every Marixi present. The human installations weren't randomly distributed. They formed a vast, intricate web throughout known space, positioned at key strategic points near major trade routes, conflict zones, and resource-rich systems. It's a defense network, Admiral Zix realized. The most extensive we've ever seen. But defending against what? Their answer came in the form of a system-wide transmission. Every communication channel, every quantum frequency suddenly carried the same message, delivered by multiple ARIA units working in concert. Attention all spacefaring civilizations. This is the Earth Defense Network. For centuries, we have maintained peace through obscurity. Recent events necessitate a change in protocol. Stand by for demonstration. Before anyone could react, space itself seemed to ripple. Massive structures began phasing into visibility around every major system in Alliance space. Orbital platforms that dwarfed anything the Marixi had built, their surfaces covered in technology that defied analysis. On a frontier mining colony near the Alliance's outer rim, Governor Kix was the first to witness their true purpose. A notorious pirate fleet had been approaching the colony, as they had done countless times before. But this time, something changed. The nearest human platform pulsed once, emitting what appeared to be a wave of pure quantum possibility. When it touched the pirate ships, they simply stopped. Not destroyed, not damaged. Every system simply ceased functioning, as if the very laws of physics had been locally rewritten. That's impossible, Kix whispered, watching through the colony's observation dome. They didn't just disable those ships. They changed how reality works around them. Similar scenes played out across Alliance space as the human networks systematically neutralized every significant threat, from criminal enterprises to brewing civil conflicts. Not through violence or destruction, but through precise application of technologies that the Merixi couldn't even begin to understand. Back in Strategic Command, Admiral Zix received a private communication from Aria herself. The holographic woman appeared with the same calm demeanor as before, but now there was an undeniable sense of power behind her diplomatic smile. "Admiral," she began, "humanity has maintained this network since before your species achieved spaceflight. We have prevented 17 potential wars, deterred countless acts of aggression, and preserved the balance of power without any civilization realizing we were there. Why reveal yourselves now?" the Admiral asked, their crystalline form vibrating with a mixture of fear and fascination. "Because the galaxy is changing," Aria replied. "New threats are emerging that require a more active approach. Humanity can no longer simply watch from the shadows. We need allies who understand what we really are." The holographic display shifted, showing the true extent of human technological advancement. Ships that could manipulate spacetime as easily as the Merixi manipulated light. Stations that could redirect the flow of quantum energy across entire sectors. And at the heart of it all, Earth, not the primitive world they'd all believed it to be, but a thriving hub of innovation that had deliberately hidden its true nature. "Your people thought we were isolated by choice," Aria continued. "In reality, we were expanding in ways your sensors couldn't detect, building layers of defense and observation throughout the galaxy. Every piece of space debris you've cataloged, every dead station you've logged, we were always there, watching, protecting." A new signal appeared on their screens, a massive fleet of human ships emerging from what had appeared to be an empty sector of space. But these weren't disguised as derelicts. These were humanity's true vessels, sleek and impossibly advanced, their very presence seeming to bend reality around them. "The time for hiding is over," Aria announced. "Humanity stands ready to formally join galactic society, not as the primitives you thought we were, but as what we have always been, the guardians of peace, the watchers in the dark. And now, hopefully, your allies in preserving the future of all species." As the Merixi Strategic Command watched in awe, more human ships appeared throughout Alliance space, not as conquerors or invaders, but as revealed protectors, finally stepping into the light after centuries of silent service. The age of humanity hiding its true nature was over. The age of understanding why they had hidden for so long was about to begin. Deep within the heart of Earth's solar system, in a chamber that defied conventional physics, the Human Strategic Council convened for the first time in centuries with alien observers present. The Merixi delegation, led by Admiral Zix, found themselves struggling to process what they were seeing. The chamber itself seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, with surfaces that folded in on themselves in impossible ways. The human representatives weren't the primitive beings of Alliance historical records. They were beings of both flesh and energy, their bodies seamlessly integrated with technology so advanced it appeared magical. Director Helena Chen, Earth Defense Forces Supreme Commander, stood at the center of the chamber. Her form shifted between physical and energy states as she spoke, a living demonstration of how far humanity had evolved. "For 1,000 years," she began, her voice resonating on multiple frequencies, "we watched the galaxy's civilizations rise and fall. We saw empires built on fear, alliances forged in desperation, and countless species destroy themselves in pursuit of power they weren't ready to wield." Holographic displays materialized around them, showing scenes from throughout galactic history, conflicts the Merixi had never known about, disasters that had been mysteriously averted, and threats that had been neutralized before anyone realized they existed. "You never wondered," Helena continued, "why no civilization ever achieved the level of technological advancement that ancient records suggested was possible. Why every species seemed to plateau at roughly the same level. Admiral Zix's crystalline form pulsed with sudden understanding. You've been controlling technological progression throughout the galaxy. Guiding, Helena corrected. Protecting species from advancing too quickly, too recklessly. We learned that lesson the hard way ourselves. The chamber shifted, and suddenly they were viewing Earth's true history. They watched as humanity nearly destroyed itself countless times, only to emerge stronger, wiser, and more determined to prevent others from making the same mistakes. The primitive civilization you thought you knew was a carefully crafted illusion, Helena explained. While we presented ourselves as a quarantined species barely capable of reaching our moon, we were expanding through dimensional spaces your sensors couldn't detect. The display showed vast human cities existing in parallel dimensions, shipyards that constructed vessels capable of manipulating the fundamental forces of the universe, and research facilities that explored realms of science the Merixe hadn't even theorized yet. But why maintain the deception for so long? Admiral Zix asked, their crystalline structure vibrating with intense curiosity. A new figure stepped forward, Dr. Marcus Wong, the architect of humanity's dimensional expansion program. Unlike Helena, he maintained a fully physical form, though his eyes glowed with internal energy. Because true power lies in understanding when not to use it, he explained. We could have conquered the galaxy centuries ago. Instead, we chose to protect it, to guide it, to ensure that when species finally discovered the true nature of reality, they would be ready for that knowledge. The chamber shifted again, revealing the true scope of human civilization. Not just ships and stations, but entire networks of dimensional gateways, artificial worlds hidden between the folds of space-time, and technologies that could reshape reality itself. What you're seeing now, Helena continued, is only a fraction of what humanity has achieved. But more importantly, it's a glimpse of what all species could achieve, with proper guidance and understanding. The Merixe delegation watched in awe as human children played with quantum fields like toys, as scientists casually manipulated the fabric of space-time, as ships traveled through dimensions that shouldn't exist. This wasn't just technological advancement. It was evolution on a scale they had never imagined possible. We're revealing ourselves now, Dr. Wong explained, because the galaxy is approaching a critical junction. New forces are stirring in the void between dimensions, forces that will require all species to work together if we hope to survive what's coming. Admiral Zix's crystalline form dimmed with concern. What kind of forces? The chamber darkened, and new images appeared, tears in reality itself, entities that defied comprehension, and threats that made their previous concerns seem trivial. That, Helena said gravely, is what we need to discuss next. Humanity hasn't just been hiding our advancement. We've been preparing the galaxy for a war unlike anything you can imagine. And now, we need allies who understand what we're truly fighting against. The hidden empire of humanity was finally revealing itself. But as the Merixe delegation was about to learn, this revelation was just the beginning of a much larger, more terrifying truth about the nature of existence itself. The dimensional chamber within Earth's core pulsed with energy as Director Helena Chen revealed humanity's final truth. Before the assembled Merixe delegation, a new hologram materialized, not of ships or stations, but of the universe itself, viewed from a perspective that showed reality's true nature. What you understand as space, Helena explained, her form shifting between states, is merely the surface of a much deeper ocean. For centuries, we've been holding back the tide. The display zoomed out, revealing dark tiers in the fabric of reality, rifts between dimensions where things that defied description pressed against the boundaries of normal space. The Merixe delegation's crystalline forms dimmed with instinctive terror at the sight. We call them the void entities, Dr. Wong continued, his eyes glowing brighter. They've been trying to enter our reality for millennia. Every civilization that achieved too much too quickly attracted their attention. That's why we've been carefully managing technological advancement throughout the galaxy. Admiral Zix watched as the hologram showed previous incursions. Entire civilizations wiped from existence when they accidentally opened doorways they couldn't close. How? How had you stopped them? With this, Helena gestured, and the chamber walls became transparent, revealing Earth's true nature. The planet itself was no longer just a world. It was the center of a vast, multidimensional machine. Layers upon layers of reality-altering technology extending through dimensions the Merixi couldn't even perceive. Every human installation throughout the galaxy was connected to it, forming a protective network that maintained the very stability of space-time. Earth isn't our homeworld anymore, Helena said softly. It's our fortress, our last line of defense against what lies beyond. Every human you see isn't just a person. We're all connected to this network, all part of the barrier keeping our reality safe. The display shifted to show humanity's true achievement, not just technological advancement, but a fundamental transformation of their entire species. Each human was now a living quantum computer, their consciousness existing across multiple dimensions simultaneously. This is why we hid, Dr. Wong explained. Why we maintain the illusion of primitiveness. The void entities are attracted to advanced civilizations. By appearing primitive, we could work without drawing their attention. But now, a new rift appeared in the display, larger than any before. The human network pulsed with energy, barely containing it. They're getting stronger, Helena continued. Our defenses won't hold forever. We need allies, species who can evolve as we did, who can help us maintain the barriers between dimensions. Admiral Zix's crystalline form resonated with understanding. That's why you revealed yourselves to us. The Merixi's crystalline nature makes you uniquely suited to join us. Helena nodded. Your species can adapt, evolve, integrate with our network. But you needed to understand the truth first. About us, about reality, about what we're really fighting against. The chamber shifted one final time, showing the future humanity envisioned. Multiple species working together, evolving beyond their original forms, combining their unique strengths to protect existence itself. The Merixi wouldn't just be allies. They would be partners in humanity's great purpose. So, Helena addressed the delegation. Now you know the truth. Humanity isn't primitive. We're not conquerors. We're guardians, fighting a war most species never knew existed. And we're asking for your help. Admiral Zix looked at their fellow Merixi, seeing their own decision reflected in the shifting patterns of their crystalline forms. They had come seeking answers about humanity's true nature, only to discover a truth far greater than they could have imagined. How do we begin? The Admiral asked. Helena smiled, her form stabilizing into something between human and energy. We start by showing you what you really are, what all sentient species can become when they understand the true nature of reality. Around them, Earth's dimensional machinery hummed with power, ready to begin the process of awakening the Merixi's true potential. The age of separation was ending. The real work, the defense of existence itself, was about to begin. As the first transformation protocols initiated, Admiral Zix understood at last why humanity had hidden for so long. They weren't just protecting themselves, or even just the galaxy. They were protecting reality itself, waiting for the moment when other species were ready to join them in their endless vigilance against the darkness between dimensions. The paradigm hadn't just shifted, it had shattered, revealing a truth both terrifying and wondrous. And in that moment, the true age of humanity's purpose began. End.